Sori gets her photo pass taken.
But how mad was I really?
Christian's at a Korn show, y'all. Let's talk about it.
All right.
Korn. That's how you usually say it. Korn.
Yep, he always does that weird thing. We went to the show that they had in, what was it, Mansfield?
Mansfield. It was them and
Interesting.
Alice in Chains.
I'm going to
Underoath.
name this place Mansfield.
Mansfield. Very manly.
Yeah. It's not a very manly place. Every place was closed when we tried to get out of the show and get some
Seduct.
food. I'm like, man, these people are
Shout out to
soft.
Domino's. Shout out to Domino's
Yeah.
Pizza, who was
Yes.
the only
People
place
willing
left
to
in
feed
civilization.
Vin and Sori. Right.
It's like, what is going on?
I'm like, hey Siri, where's there food near me? And it was like closed.
I just don't understand, because we were at the Xfinity Center, which had a capacity of like 17,500, and it's like, you figure in a massive event like that
Somebody would have stayed open and advertised.
You would constantly be doing, or at least during the summer months, but neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Korn show, we actually bought the tickets on camera. We were in the middle of a review. I don't know what review it was. We saw that it popped up and we're like, shit, Mansfield, let's do it. So we had bought them, and they basically were advertised,
Now listen, I don't buy stuff like that because I always feel like I'm going to go on the wrong site. So I left this one up to Vin.
They were advertised as like VIP experience, behind the scenes experience. You get to hang out with the band, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, okay, which was not cheap, but because of what we do for work, I figured, hey, we'd get back there and maybe get an interview or two. Da 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 da. Now, you guys know we already have a relationship, with Brian because of the interviews we did with him and with his daughter. We were interviewing. We did the last interview we did with Brian. We had just had Orion, literally, not 24 hours hence, and Orion
is like 3 months old now.
Right, Orion was born on the 30th, and that night I got an email from Head's publicist, who we've talked to back and forth. We developed a relationship with. She's like, hey, do you want to do an interview with Brian a lot?
Well, because he did this documentary. It's called Loud Crazy Love.
Right.
It's about him and his daughter Janaea and their relationship, and it's a really, really cool
recovery and suicide prevention.
Yeah, like it's really, really cool. If you get the time, go check it out on Amazon.
I'm gonna buy a couple hard copies and send them to winners and such.
Well, you want to just put it right here.
What do you mean?
Like,
yes. So, if you have a story about recovery, or you're interested in recovery or drug addiction, things like that, send us an email and we will send you free of charge, dear listener, Loud Crazy Love, the DVD. You can watch it.
Put Loud Crazy Love in the subject title, so that way we know what this is for. So
it's a really good story, and it was very important.
And guys, I'm not a document. I don't like boring stuff. Like, I hate being bored, and it is not boring. It's a documentary, but what are they? Docudrama is what they call it.
I would say.
So there's like, it's very interesting. It kind of keeps you it really keeps you into the story and what's going on and stuff. And they show pictures and
it's got the band members in it. And
it's really cool.
If you're a hardcore Korn fan, you kind of get to see Janaea growing up and things like that. It's a really cool idea. So we kind of started developing a relationship with Brian, because that was their second interview. But my thing was, I was still going to buy the tickets like a normal person because I'm not going to take advantage of the relationship. So I'm not going to presume on him.
Right.
Oh, you're going to give us free tickets or whatever, just because, there's a lot of that goes on. And I think one of the things that we're trying to do is, like, when we develop relationships with band members, is like trying to separate business from just the interaction. Because I think a lot of those people, it's the same thing with, Lindsay from Cradle. It's like, that's the reason why when we went backstage to hang out with her, there were no cameras. And we didn't record anything, even though it was gold, and she probably would have been fine with it. It's just, these people are human beings, and, they never...
well, we've been in certain contexts where people kind of like put us up on like these pedestals, and then you never get talked to like you're an actual human being. So, you know, people come to you because they want something from you, or they're, you know, whatever, they feel a certain way when you talk to them. It's not about, hey, you're cool, I'm cool, like let's just have a conversation. Right. So we recognize that with the band members, and we don't want to like do that to them. Like like we think their music is awesome, like don't get us wrong, but at the same time we're able to like look past what they do to see who they are. And we want to celebrate that and just kind of like just be there with them. And stuff.
Yeah, the thing is, Head's a Christian and so are we.
Yep, right.
And one of the things that happens that sucks in Christianity sometimes is like just because you run into another Christian, now they're obligated to you because they're, you know, you're a Christian. So like I didn't want any of that. And
yeah, do you remember when our channel first started?
Oh yeah.
And like Christians would reach out to us because they wanted something from us, and we wouldn't do whatever it was that they were asking for, and they'd get angry with us.
They'd get angry at us.
Yeah.
Yeah, because being a Christian obligated us to them.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. And
we're not your slaves.
And you know, he's not our slave, or he doesn't owe us anything. So I wanted to go to the Korn show. I'm a Korn fan. Korn's coming to Massachusetts. We're in Maine. So we went ahead and bought the tickets. And you know, there was like VIP and I'm like, okay, I'm willing to shell out the extra bucks and yada yada yada. But then when we were interviewed with Brian, he's like, man, I really want to connect with you guys. I want to hang out. So.
Well, it's crazy because when he said, like, we were in the hospital, like he said, it hadn't even been 24 hours after I delivered. And like, he's like, babe, we got an interview. And I'm like, oh, I'm not doing an interview. I'm like thinking, there's no way in the no. And then he was like, it's Brian from Head. I was like, yes.
Brian from Head. Brian from Korn.
Brian from Head. He's like, Brian from Korn. And I'm like, oh. Yes.
Well, that's different.
That's different. Yeah.
So the interview, and you know, off camera, he's like, "Man, we really hang out. You know, next time we're around, we got to connect." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Yeah."
But anytime people say that, I'm always like, "Do they really mean it?" Because how many times do people say to each other, "We need to hang out," and then it doesn't happen?
Right.
So
and the other thing, this happens to me a lot, and everybody in the village can testify. Like, I genuinely mean it in the moment.
Yes, you do. Yes.
But then I'm not aware of like
all the other things that
97,000 trillion obligations that I have. So, so we had bought the tickets and all that, and so I reached out to his publicist and I said, look, you know, in the last interview he said he wanted to hang out. Please let him know there is no pressure whatsoever at all. I won't think anything different of him if he says, I can't deal with that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I kind of put that out there. No response. Now, of course, she's mega busy. I put it out again. No response. I get her phone number. I texted her. Finally, she responds. She goes, oh, yeah. So I just wanted to say, you know, no obligations. Like, even though he had said it, and I'm not saying people aren't men of their word. It's just like I said, a lot can happen between, you know, April 30th, which was when we had the conversation, and August 8th, 9th.
Of course, yeah.
And so I just was like, yeah, look, no obligations, no nothing, you know, whatever. So, well, she gets back to me 2 days before the show. She said, Brian said yes. Give us your last names and then you're good to go. So I'm like, okay, we're good. So we pile up to go to the show, and it depends on how in depth we want to go here.
Oh, I'll go for it.
Well, so usually
there's two sides of this story.
We've gone to Boston multiple times. We've gone to Massachusetts multiple times. It's usually a 2-hour clip, and it just so happened that Mansfield was 3.5 hours. So the show started at 6 o'clock or 6:30, and we piled into the car at so she was asking me the night before, hey, when should we
what time do we need to leave?
What time do we need to leave? And I'm like, don't worry about it, we'll fly, we'll leave 1 o'clock the latest, because again, I'm thinking, you know, we get to the hotel at around 3, freshen up, and then go down to the show, because we orchestrated so it'd be like 4 miles away from the show. So as she's buying tickets for the hotel, I said, hey, put in your GPS on your phone the directions to the Xfinity Center so we can see the hours. So when she's telling me this, when she's asking me what time should we wake up or whatever or leave, I'm thinking she's already done that and it's no different from normal. It's going to be 2 hours, okay. So well,
hold on. So what happened was when he's saying find out put that in the GPS to find out how far it is. A lot of times I do this thing where if I assume I know somebody's going to say something, then I don't even really hear what they say. I'm just going off the assumption of what I assume they're going to say. So I thought he said, if I think back in my memory, I could have sworn what he asked me to do was find out how long it was going to take us from the hotel to the Xfinity Center. So I looked, that's how I searched for it, was to make sure we had the closest hotel, because the last time we ran into an issue because I didn't get the hotel until we got there. It turned into a big thing. So I'm like, okay, it's 3 miles away. And I kept telling him it's 3 miles away. And then the night before I said, hey, what time are we going to leave at? And at that point, I was thinking, after we figured out the big fight, I was like, he should have known you should have known when I said, what time do we need to leave by, that I had no clue how far away it was.
So
I told him too before we left. I'm like, I want to do my hair when we get to the hotel.
I want to do my hair. I'm like, well, at this point, I'm like thinking, yeah, no problem. Mm-hmm. So we get in the car, we hit the road.
We didn't leave at 1 though. We left at like 2:15 or something like that.
2:08. We hit the road, and I put the thing into the GPS, and lo and behold, it's 3.5 hours and not 2 hours. So now it's 2 o'clock. The show starts at 6, and we didn't get out of Lewiston till 2:30.
Yeah, we were supposed to arrive somewhere around like 5:30.
So yeah, the arrival time was about 5:30, and then I'm looking at the instructions for our tickets. It's like, pick up your tickets an hour for the show. I'm thinking they're going to do some sort of pre-show walkthrough with the VIP tickets that we bought from Vivid Seats. Yes, I'm just going to say their name because interesting experience with that group. And so, I'm like, this is cutting it pretty close, but, whatever. I saw her hair, Sori's hair. I mean, you guys have seen her hair. I mean, you've seen her. She's beautiful. I mean, whatever. So we're driving.
I wanted to have my hair flattened with the flat irons.
We get there at 5:30.
It was all like curly because my hair is naturally like kind of curly wavy.
We get to our hotel at 5:30 something, and then she's doing her hair.
Takes me 15 minutes to flatten it.
Now, instead of going straight to the venue from Maine, we went from the venue, stopped at the hotel.
It took forever to check in.
Had to wait in line to check in. Then she goes and does her hair and all this. So I'm pacing, and again, we got these passes from Brian from Korn, and I'm looking at the time, and I'm like, yo, we're not going to be able to hang out. This is crazy. I mean, if you don't know me and my history, Korn is my favorite band, and I ran into them at Woodstock 99 because I was looking for DMX. I was a big hip hop head at the time, and I saw them doing Got the Life, and I saw Head doing jamming, and I'd never seen anything like that before. So I've always kind of been attached to Head. From he's always been my favorite member of the band. When me and my friends wanted to start a band, of course everybody wants to be the singer. I'm like, nope, I got my little Ibanez guitar. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be the guitarist because he inspired the hell out of me. Mm-hmm. And so I've been tracking with him. When he left the band because he became a Christian, I celebrated almost equivalent to the way I celebrated when I found out I was pregnant with Dorian. So, it was very, 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 very similar because I loved him, and up to his...
That's his firstborn son. We got married later on, but that's his firstborn.
Up to his conversion, he would, the months leading up to his conversion, he didn't look very good. Mm-hmm. He looked pretty terrible, and I used to stare at him on TV, or I was at a show. I was at a show in the Pepsi Arena. It was actually one of the last shows that he did before he left the band, and he looked terrible, and he was miserable. And then I see that he converts to Christianity. He left the band. I was celebrating. I was on cloud 9. I was so happy. I was not happy that he left the band, but I was happy that he found a relationship with Jesus. Yeah. So he is a very, very, very important person to me. So being able to talk to him in even on Skype, like we did in the couple interviews, that was the highlight of the channel for me. Mm-hmm. And then to find out, hey, you've got these passes now. His publicist didn't say what we're going to do with them. All I know is Head said, hey, let's connect, and then, hey, you got these passes. But I didn't know anything. So I didn't know if we had missed our chance and missed our opportunity. And she's just sitting there flattening her hair. And I'm like, this is the once in a lifetime opportunity. And it wasn't even honestly, it was beyond the whole fan thing. It was, he's a Christian, he's he's just been intertwined with my life story. And honestly, there would be no channel, there would be no us probably. There's a lot of things that seeing him at Woodstock changed the trajectory of my entire life. Mm-hmm. So I was not happy. I was in a bad way.
In my mind, I'm like, well, he likes it when my hair is flattened. And so I was like, I had like this whole plan. I'm like, okay. So for me, like when I go to the shows, I haven't known these people for like, you know, all my life, and they've been life-changing to me. It's not. I heard about Korn when I was a kid. I just heard that there was a band named Korn and they were bad and you should stay away from them. That's all I knew. And so like for me, it's like, you know, I don't have those fan feelings like for basically any bands. It was really cool being there, but it wasn't like how it is for you where you're like looking forward to it and whatever. So like for me, it's like, okay, we're gonna go, we're gonna review for the channel. We might run into people that we know, and I get to be with Vinny, and I wanna look hot for Vinny, so I'm gonna flatten my hair and wear this outfit, and then the whole thing blows right up to hell.
Well, no, what happened was I was getting more and more frustrated. So the current way that I've decided to handle our conflicts is to just be quiet.
He was extremely quiet.
Deal with it internally, let it blow over, and move on.
He said, how much longer is it going to take you for your hair? And I said, oh, I'll probably be done in like 4 minutes. He was like, okay, I'll wait in the car. And that's when I was like, that's weird. Like, what's the actual point in going to the car 4 minutes before? Just wait the 4 minutes, we'll walk down together. I think you just want to get things going.
So I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll stay with you. So we're walking, and then you said something about your hair, and I said, oh, it doesn't really look different to me, which was a mistake. I should have just stayed quiet. So then Sori starts going, well, what? Huh? Huh? What are you trying to say? It's this big thing, and I'm just telling myself, like, yo, be quiet, dog. Just be quiet. Just be quiet. And she's like, so like we get there, and then I can't find my wallet. And I'm like, of course, you need your IDs for that stuff because everybody says they're with the band and da-da-da-da-da. So I'm like, we need the wallet. Can't find the wallet. So I run back up in the hotel. Sure enough, it's in her purse.
I said while I was flattening my hair, I said, hey, get my ID so that way now, so we can get into the show. He goes to get my ID.
That's completely untrue. That's not what happened.
I told you to get my ID.
No.
I
got your ID because I had given you my wallet downstairs, and you needed the ID for to check into the hotel.
I told you to bring my bag in, get my ID. Where was my ID? It was in your pocket.
No, your ID was in my pocket.
Yeah.
But the wallet I had given you.
Oh yeah, I know that. I'm saying.
And you left the room with the wallet in your purse.
I told him to get the ID. And always when he gets my ID, he puts it in his wallet. And so I assumed he would get my ID and get his wallet. I didn't think I needed to say to do all those things. And so he got my ID.
How was I to know that the wallet was in her purse?
You didn't have the wallet.
Listener?
So then you should have said, hey, where's the wallet? We need to get this.
I should have said that. So she has no obligation to say,
by this
your
point,
wallet with your identification is in my purse. No obligation. I should have known that she put it in my purse.
You're a grown man, and I think you should have known to say, hey, I need my ID. Where's my ID? Where's the wallet?
Wow.
I was flattening my hair, so I wasn't focused on the wallet. I just said, get my ID, so that way we can have everything. So we get out there.
Suffice it to say, I was pretty furious. I find the wallet in her purse. I'm extremely furious. I'm like, wow. And then, I look at the GPS, and the GPS is saying we're going to hit the venue at 6:24.
It was like 15 minutes away. So when I looked it up...
And secondly, it was a 15-minute drive.
Yeah.
I told her, get the hotel that's absolute closest so we can have a 5-minute drive.
I did. It was 2.9 miles away. But in Boston, 2.9 miles around 6:30 apparently
It was Mansfield.
Mansfield.
Yeah, and honestly, in every other normal situation, it would have been a pretty quick drive, but... It was a show that 17,000 people were going to.
And I didn't see any hotels closer. I mean, I Googled.
So that really wasn't your fault. I was just being emotional. So I'm trying to be quiet. And Sori keeps going, what about this? What about this? What about this?
When he says, what about this? There was a big sign that says, for the show to create 2 lines. So everybody is all in one line, like a giant thing, one lane of cars. Yeah. And the big sign says you can go in 2 lanes.
Right.
So I said, hey, the sign says go in 2 lanes. Form the second line. That was going to shoot us right to the front.
Well, you were saying other things too. You're saying, well, I'll take the backpack and the gear, and you go up front. And, so
I was trying to give any ideas to make this thing go faster because he was so mad.
She'd make it go faster, and my thing was, hello, it's over now. It's friggin' 6:24. It's saving 32 seconds. It's not gonna do anything. So yeah, so we finally make it to the venue, and then we show up and we go. And I went to the VIP. I saw the ticket master.
Well, it sucked because usually when we go to these events, it's like a date night for us, and we were both mad as hell when we showed up.
We were pretty tight.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh man, hopefully we'll see some villagers or we'll see people that are. And I'm like, God, you better not have nobody come talk to me.
It's so funny because I said to myself, if somebody comes up to talk to us, I am not going to fake that I'm in a good mood. We've always been honest with the channel,
right.
and I am mad as hell right now. So if anybody comes up to talk to us, I'm just going to be like, yeah, I'm in a bad mood.
And that was the same. That was the same with me because we've always been honest with our folks.
Surprise! So, nobody came up to us.
Yeah,
God was like, let's not do that to the villagers.
I was like, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how it reacted, but it would have been obvious that we were not in a good. We were not in a good. We spend so much time with each other. It's like we're literally in each other's faces for 24/7. It's like I love it. I've created this life for this very purpose, but whew. Sometimes, man, we're both middle children, we're both alphas, and we're very, very stubborn.
Yeah.
It's so sometimes it gets, whatever. So anyway, we go up to guest service because there's all these lines at the ticket box, and there's like, guest services is usually like for special passes and such. So I put the IDs there, and boom, we get our stuff. So now I'm thinking to myself, we've got 2 tickets we can give away.
Because we got tickets from the band to get us in, and we had purchased those tickets from Vivid Seats.
Right. So we had purchased the pit and the backstage experience and all this stuff from Vivid Seats. So we were like, so we're going to be able to bless a couple people, a couple Korn fans with these tickets, and then we have the passes from Head. So we open the passes, and it's a photo pass and a VIP pass. Usually you only get photo passes.
Yeah.
We got photo and VIP.
I was like, okay.
And I'm like, okay, here we go. Boom, bam. And so then we go up there to get the other set of tickets that we had previously ordered. They have no idea. They're like, what are you talking about?
No, the lady goes, the VIP tickets... I'm literally like, it's saying like special passes, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
She goes, oh, no, I don't have VIP passes here. You have to go to the VIP table. So I turn around, she's like, the VIP 10. So I'm like, okay, I turn around, I see VIP 10. I go over to the VIP 10. I said, so I'm looking for our VIP tickets. They said, oh, no, we don't have VIP tickets here. You got to go over there to that thing that says special.
Well, it was Alice in Chains.
They didn't even have any tickets regardless. I didn't say it was Korn VIP.
Alice in Chains had a VIP little tent.
Yeah, but they said they don't have the tickets there.
I said, do you have anything for Korn? Do you know where the Korn VIP tent is? They're like, we've never seen a Korn VIP. What are you talking about?
So then I went back to the counter. I said, they said for me to come over here. The lady goes, yeah, I don't know.
Nobody knew anything.
She said, go around the corner. She said, go around the corner to Problems and see if they'll help you. I'm like...
Problems. That's what they called it. I'm serious. Problems. And initially I was mad at Xfinity. So I called my contact from Vivid Seats. I'm like, yo, where are these VIP tickets at? And he's like, well, no, it's not VIP tickets. Well, that's what I bought, sir.
Yeah.
So I just hung up on the guy. And I just told Sori, I'm like, look,
we're gonna deal with that later.
We've got the double passes, we've got everything, so let's just go. So we go in, they call security, and this guy shows up. I don't know what his name was. Do you remember the guy's name? Guy shows up, very nice guy. He brings us to the section with the.
It was totally different than usually how we do media stuff, because usually when you do media stuff, you're kind of you just go in like regular. You have your media pass, and then when it's time, you just go back there, take your pictures, and come out 3 songs later.
Yeah.
But this one was different. Like, he brought us to like this little room. It was air conditioned. It had water. It had a bathroom. It had like all this stuff. He was like, he said you have to leave your bag here, which was great, because usually you have a backpack in very limited space. You're banging people.
You're chugging that. You're huffing that backpack all over the place.
Yeah.
So we're in this room with a bunch of seasoned professionals. We just started the channel a year ago.
We're learning, you know.
I mean, I think that our reviews are top notch, and I haven't seen show reviews like ours, to be honest with you. Huh?
I mean, who tells you about their fights on the drive?
Never mind. So anyway, we show up there, and he's like, okay, well, you guys have photo passes. And usually what happens is you get 3 songs, and then you go off to the side, and then the other band comes on, 3 songs, you go off to the sides, no flash, and no recording. Mm-hmm. That's generally the rule. So, so Underoath was up first. Now, Underoath is a Christian band, and we actually reviewed that band during Christian Week. So they got up, and we were able to take pictures. So the guy that's been following, the concierge, whatever he was, says to Sori, well, where's your camera? Well, we only have one real camera. It's the camera that we're shooting right now, this video on. And then Sori has her iPhone 10, which takes amazing pictures. And honestly,
it's way better.
Honestly, none of you can tell the difference between what an iPhone picture is and what our $600 DSLR camera.
Oh no, you could tell a difference. The iPhone 10 takes a better picture.
I agree. I agree.
If you put them side to side, like the clarity in that iPhone 10, and the other thing too is like, with your actual camera, like it's hard to, like, it's gonna take like a lot of shows to like really like perfect how to take a picture when there's lights flashing and there's no lights over here, or there's sunlight coming in. Like there's so many
There are a lot of angles. So we were up there for Underoath. Underoath was good. It's just that they did the 3 songs and then we went back to the booth. We went back to our little cubby hole. So he comes back and goes, yeah, so I'm asking him, I'm like, hey, we have these VIP passes. Because what I looked at was everybody else had a photo pass and that was it. Or they had a guest pass. But we had a pass that said VIP, right? So, I mean, you can see it right here. So I was like, what is this? I kept asking the guy. He's like, yeah, I don't really know. He comes back after we cover Underoath. And he, and you're seeing Underoath now. All the videos that you've been seeing for the last 3 minutes is Underoath. But he comes back and he says...
Well, he said that he was going to find out whether we were actually allowed to go back there and take pictures of Alice in Chains.
Right.
Because technically Korn is the one that gave us the photo passes, which was weird because anytime we've ever gotten photo passes, it's for the entire show.
Right.
And why wouldn't the band want like photo like advertisements and stuff to, like for their bands? It was just weird.
I'd never seen that before.
So he was supposedly going to find out if we were allowed to go back there for that.
He comes back, and I knew there's going to be some bad news because he was very pensive.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, so you're not approved for Alice in Chains. And, to me, I was like, well, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to fight him on it.
Yeah.
And he goes, and the production team is really, about your phone. You got to have a camera, so I'm going to have to take back your photo pass. And so at this moment, I'm like...
He's like, I noticed that you guys only have one camera. And because he had asked me prior to when we went in the first time, he was like, so where's your camera? And I said, well, we work together. And so he was like, okay. And then he told us that he went back there. He's like, I went back and asked them if there's only one camera, can there still be 2 people back there? And, they said no. I was like, I'm thinking to myself, what is happening?
Why would you even ask that?
Yeah. Like, and it was so weird too, because it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's the venue, but at the same time, like, it's the band member that wants us there. Like
the headlining band.
Yeah, the headlining band is the one that would got us these passes to be able to be back there. So, like, I don't know in those situations, like, who has... I would think the band has the final say, because there's been times where the band's told the security, leave the people alone and let them do whatever.
That's what happened at the Kill Switch show.
Yeah, so I would think the band has
Buck Cherry told the photographers to stay for the whole show, so then they stayed after the 3 songs. So I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, I'm not going to argue with this guy. I'm not going to fight with this guy. We got to be back there in 2 weeks. Just keep a good relationship.
I was so annoyed. I'm like, this is some bullshit. I'm like looking at him like, I'm thinking, okay, I'm not going to cause a situation here. Because again, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, well, but at the same time, I'm like, what?
It just had never happened before. And then he didn't come back and explain to us what the VIP thing meant. All he did was say, you can't do Alice in Chains.
He told us all the things we couldn't do, but didn't tell us what our passes would
So Sori looks at me and she's like, well, I should take the photos because I'm better at photos than you, which she is. But I was like, no, because I had a plan. So
he's like, well, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
He's like, because I really love the band.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I had a plan.
Right.
So but I wasn't.
He's like, well, either way, I have to take one of the passes.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna, and I didn't even look at the. After that, I didn't even look at the guy for the rest of the day. I don't know if you noticed that or not. I couldn't even look at the guy.
I only looked at him that one time when I said what I said.
So, I'm like, yeah, man, whatever. And so we go down there, and one of the security members, her son, is a...
Oh, yeah. This actually happened before we got our passes taken.
No, it wasn't. It happened directly.
I talked to her before my pass got taken. I was leaving taking pictures of Underoath, and then I had a conversation with her about her son's YouTube channel.
So we get out of the booth, we get out of the little room, and then we run into this security lady because that's what I was talking about. So after your photo,
I just didn't want people to think that we weren't talking to the lady, and then all of a sudden
no,
you know what I'm saying?
No,
I was already talking to the lady. I already got her contact information, all that stuff.
We always do that. We always talk to the security people up front because they have a hard job. A lot of people don't realize that. People just think, oh, they're there. These people are there for the entire day, and then they're there after everything is done, and they have to clean up the parking lots and all that stuff.
It's a
really thankless job.
Yeah.
But literally, it's very, very important what they do. So we always talk to the security folks. So, and this was one of the few times when one of the upfront people was a female. I generally never see that.
Yeah.
Because usually, you're catching moshers.
Yeah.
Right, or you're kicking people out, or all the rest of it. So usually you see dudes there that are kind of a little bit on the bulky side. But she was down there and she was doing her thing, and she was really nice. So so we go down there. She's explaining to me about her son's Rubik's Cube. Her son is he's autistic, but he's a master Rubik's Cube guy, and he's qualifying in national tournaments and all this stuff, and he's about to get a sponsorship,
right?
But he needs 2,000 subs.
Yeah, he needs 2,000 subscribers. Right. So he's just new. So if you're into any of that stuff, we're gonna put the link in the description. We have our gear and all that stuff posted in the description, but he's the first link that you see there is for that kid's YouTube channel, so you can check it out.
Whether or not you're interested, subscribe anyway. Get this kid to 2,000 so that he can get his.
I guess it doesn't harm anything.
Yeah, so he can get his sponsorship because all he needs is 2,000 subs to get a sponsorship. And so I'm like, oh yeah, we'll promote that. And she's like, well, how much is that going to cost? I'm like, no, your kid is he's trying to do something for himself, and all you got to do is click a mouse button. So I really, really, really want this kid to hit 2,000.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Once this kid hits 2,000, we'll put names in a raffle and draw them, and we'll distribute winners. I really want this kid to get a sponsorship because it's awesome. Also, we're going to be shooting a video with Dorian, my son, and him, because Dorian's also kind of a master Rubik's Cube guy.
Yeah, and I told Dorian about it. He was pretty excited.
But you can only watch the video on his channel.
Right.
So it's really important that we get this kid his subs. So anyway, so we're talking to her, and we go down, and then Sori's like, well, let's just watch Alice in Chains as fans. Eat. So we go get some pizza. Now, what I'm about to tell you, this is the second time in a row this happened. Me and Sori are there getting pizza. I turn around and these two women are arguing. One of them said, "You didn't see me when you ran me over and spilled my beer?" And then the other one's like, "I didn't see you. What's wrong with you? Chill out." And now the husband or the boyfriend of one of the ladies was like, "Please, honey, calm down." She's like, "You didn't see me spill my beer. Half my beer is gone." And the other one was like, "What do you want me to do?
I didn't see you. Buy me another beer."
Yeah, she kept saying, "Buy me another beer." And now you gotta understand, at these venues, Sori had one of these box pizzas that you get at Walmart for $138, plus tax. They charge us $18 for that shit. Literally.
It was one of those, it's super, super thin, and the dough has these weird holes in it. It was. Yeah, I mean, it did the trick because I needed to eat something, but
So this woman is not going to buy this other woman a $12 beer for an accident. It's just not going to happen. This girl turns around and throws beer in the girl's face.
Some beer left. She right in the girl's face.
And
I am the type of person where I feel like a person's face, like there's like a shame honor thing with me. I just think that it's very, very rude. I feel like people's identity, like their eyes are there. Like when you're talking to somebody, you're looking right in their face. Like this is the woman's friggin' face. And you just threw beer in her face.
It's not a good look.
No, I thought it's awful.
We are pacifists. Don't do that. If you see us, don't do that.
I know. I told Vin, I said...
Bad idea.
I'm like, I don't know what I would do if somebody... No, for me, if I dumped somebody's beer, I would apologize and buy them another beer. Yeah. But I don't know what this woman's financial situation is. Maybe she had a certain amount of money to buy her because she had a drink and she had the tickets, she had a drink, and she had a pretzel, and all that stuff was super expensive.
So she shoves it in this woman's face. Of course, the husband is like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you just did that." And
he's like, "No, that's too far.
Yeah, it's too far." And she's like, "Are you serious? Are you serious?" And of course, everybody's looking at him. He's completely humiliated. There's another guy that's like, "Hey, hey!" like trying to calm everybody down, but that girl was completely irrational. So she's yelling, screaming. So Sori gets a bunch of napkins and goes to the girl with the
beer in her face.
And I go to the boyfriend of the husband. I say, "Hey man, I'll buy another beer for you." Yeah. He's like, "Nah man, I got it." He just looked really sad. Just because you could tell that the young lady, you know, was a little imbalanced and that this was not the first time, nor the last, that something of that nature was to occur. So, it was just, I felt
he can tell stuff like that. I can't. To me, I was like, I can't believe that lady did that.
Well, I've been in a relationship like that before.
Yeah, but sometimes people look like they would do something like that. I was very surprised. Well, I was surprised by her yelling about it like that.
She wouldn't, see, the thing is, she wouldn't have done that with you, though. She wouldn't have done that with you. People like that know who to do it to and who not to do it to. And so the lady was like, "Do you want to go?" Like, obviously, she didn't want any smoke. She didn't want any real life smoke with that lady because there was nobody separating them. But
neither one of them wanted to.
So anyway, well, that other girl...
No, because when she said, "You want to go? She didn't go over there.
Yeah, but that's because I'm pretty sure she knew that the other girl didn't really want any smoke with her, though. Because if she did, I mean, there would have been no conversation. Mm-hmm. You know, but don't do that. I've done jujitsu with this one. Like, it's a bad idea. So anyway, we go to Alice in Chains, and
but I want to say, like, I brought the paper towels over to her, and I was like, she looked super angry when she like looked over at me, and I passed her the paper towels, and I said, "I'm sorry," because I felt so bad, and then like it looked like it helped her to feel a little bit better, like, you know, somebody like cared.
Yeah.
Like I cared that the beer got thrown in her face. That was over the top.
The same thing happened at the last show, and you know we were running peacemaking operations for pretty much the entire night at the Static at the Kill Switch Engage Impact Festival, whatever. So anyway, we go and we're sitting there, so we don't have any photo passes to watch because I wasn't going to go down there and, you know, be by the gate so we were in these seats because you know, Head had also gotten us VIP passes and tickets because you can get the passes get you access to certain places, but you still need tickets. Mm-hmm. So Head had just got us two random tickets, and so when we got the seats, they were pretty decent. They were like in the third kind of aisle. And they were good, and we were watching Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
And Alice in Chains was good. They did a very, very good live show. We were not familiar with a lot of the songs.
Right.
All the songs that we've done on the channel. And
some of them were emotional, like feeling and stuff.
Yeah, and the highlight of the night, as far as being in the audience, was I don't know what the name of the song was, but you're seeing it now. Like, you know, you had the cell phones, and it was like it almost, because night had fallen, and it almost looked like baseball lights. When I used to play baseball as a kid, when you'd have night games, like it was like that. Like it was like boom and lights all over the place. It was a beautiful moment. Everybody's singing. I'm looking around. There's like 17,000 people, 15,000 people. I don't know what it was. And it was like, whoa. Like
all those lights.
The power of rock music, man. Like,
yeah.
There's nothing like that. Like those moments when you've got literally thousands of people singing in unison with these lights, and everybody knows, really cool. You know. And then there was this one guy that was like off rhythm, like yelling the whole time, and he was happy. And then you've probably already seen it because I don't know what's playing in the background, but there was a guy that was like waving at us or whatever, and to his friend. He's like, hey, I'm pretty sure he recognized
I think my phone was, I think sometimes when I go to hit record, it's actually stop record, so that I'm not sure if I caught that or not.
He recognized, I'm pretty sure they recognized us for the channel.
Yeah, they shook our hands and stuff.
Yeah. After Alice in Chains was done, I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to try one last time to redeem those other tickets. Because what ended up happening was Sori was going to have to stay in those seats, in those rows, and then I was going to have to go down and take the pictures. And that wasn't part of my plan, because my plan obviously is always to stay with Sori. So, love Korn, love all that, but my mentality was I was gonna have the experience with her. So I ran back to the box. We ran back to the box office, and I said, I didn't say anything about VIP. I just said, hey, do you have our tickets? Box office was closing in 5 minutes. They had our tickets. So they were pit tickets. So I'm like, okay, perfect. So I'm going to be down there taking pictures past the gate. Sori's going to be in the pit. We're not going to be separated. I'm just going to, if my plan works, great. If my plan doesn't work, I'm going to take my three song photos and then get in the pit and hang out with Sori and enjoy Korn. Because at the end of the day, I'm a Korn kid, so whatever happens, happens. If we don't hook up with Brian, that's fine. It's in God's hands, whatever. So then we say, well, we have these seat tickets. Let's go up and find people that are in the nosebleed section and bring them down closer. So we found a couple. We did that. And then we went down there. Sure enough, we line up with the other photographers. And then Sori's buddy shows up again and says, what did he say to you? Again, I couldn't even look at the guy. I was so annoyed with him.
He comes over and he's like, okay, you don't have a photo pass, so you're not going to be able to go back there.
I'm not going to be able to allow you to go back.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to allow you to go back there with, when they're taking pictures. And I said, yeah. And then I was like, I was so annoyed with him. And then he said, so you have some tickets there? And then I said, yep. And then I think you said they're for the pit or something like that.
I said she has pit tickets.
Yeah.
What was crazy was all the ticket checker people that you have to go through. As soon as they saw our passes, they're like, oh, okay, come on. And it's just this guy.
Yeah.
And he had it out for her. I don't know what it was, but he had it out for her.
What he wanted was, he didn't want me standing there with Vin, like on the side. He wanted me to go to the pit. Well, the pit is so full that it was going to be hard to find each other. And so I figured if I just stay here with him, he can go back there, take the pictures. I'll just say, it's not like we were impeding anything. We were just standing on the side where all the other media people were. Yeah. So I was just going to wait right there. And then he was like, so you're just going to go hang out where your ticket says? He wanted me to go to the pit. And then
he's like, because I
can't let you go back there. He says it again. And I was like, I looked at him and I said, I know that. You've made it very clear.
So
and then he was like,
but she didn't say it like that. She was tight, and he could feel that heat coming off of her. So he goes, It's a very weird, awkward laugh. Maybe uncomfortable. But
yes.
But I couldn't even look at the guy.
I was glad he felt uncomfortable, because I'm like, he was being, honestly, I felt like he was just being a little bitch. Like, why are you gonna cause so much trouble? Like, just leave it. And the other thing too is, like, it was completely like antithetical to the vibe of metal.
Yeah. It was not very rock and roll.
No.
But the guard, that's the thing, is like the security guard, the lady, she basically said, well, it's staying around with me.
So it wasn't a problem.
The curtain drops, Korn's on, Here to Stay's on.
It was exciting.
They're rocking. The whole crowd is going crazy.
People were so happy.
Oh my gosh.
People were so... I kept looking at, like... I was standing on the side, and like all the people that were around me, they kept like, they were like singing, they were looking at me, they were like smiling, like, this is so cool. I'm like, man. And like I was probably blocking some of the people's view a little bit, but nobody cared. Like everybody was just like, oh
rocking,
yeah.
Everybody was jamming. And so I'm there taking my, and I posted up right where Brian is. I know exactly where he is. So I knew exactly where it was, lined up on the stage. So I'm just, you're probably looking at the video now.
Because I was getting you in there. It was so cute watching you back there.
And then Brian is just rocking, like feeling the music, so he's not looking at anything. I was like,
he's got those dreads.
3-4 feet away. I was like literally like 4 feet away from him, and he didn't see me at all.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, whatever. My thing was, I'm gonna wait because Korn, you know, their style is they get quiet in the middle and then they blow it up, you know, like. So I'm like, I'm just gonna wait till one of those quiet moments. I'm just gonna yell at the top of my lungs, and then if he sees me, and then we'll just take it from there. That was my entire plan from the beginning. So, you know, I'm taking pictures, but at the same time, the song is going. Blind is up next. I mean, come on, Here to Stay, then Blind. Come on.
So these are the pictures that Vin took.
Well, they're all videos. Yeah. These are the pictures.
This is what Vin was doing while he was over there.
So and then people are there, and then I see other Korn fans, and they're singing their hearts out, and they're yelling and screaming. So I turn around, I'm like, yeah, Korn. I give the guy a 5. The guy gives me a 5. Like, yeah. Because usually the photographers are like, you know, they're like very disconnected from the music and they're just taking pictures. And I've never seen a photographer like that into the music as a fan. And so the front row, they were loving it. They're like, yeah. Well, Good God comes on. Now, we only get 3 songs.
When I'm back there, I'm smiling so big and I'm like looking around. I'm like, people must think I look like such a nerd because I'm like, look at this band. And like everybody else is like, good shot.
Yeah, good shot. Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead. What were you saying?
Well, yeah, and so it's like, so the first 2 songs, like, he didn't see me at all, and then the Good God comes on, I'm like, shit, this is the 3rd song. If it doesn't happen here, it's not going to happen. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to be mad, whatever, you know, I got Sori, I'm healthy, I just had a baby. I'm just going through all the things that I'm grateful for and happy for, because I'm like, you know what? Whatever, now I'm going to be in the pit with her, boom. I'm the luckiest guy in the world, come on. So then Good God comes on, and if you're a Korn fan, you know that in the middle, it gets very, very quiet. Fuck you, if it ever you, I'm better than you. So at the exact moment when it got quiet, I said, yo, Brian! And he looks up and he throws a pick. Because, you know, he heard his name in a general direction of where I was. And then he looked and he saw me. And he goes, like, he was like, yo! And then he missed one of his cues. So he went back to playing. And then he points to the side of the stage. Well, on the side of the stage was this big, giant, bulky security guard, okay, who eats HGH for breakfast. Good Lord. And then this little boy, which I'm assuming was the son of somebody. So, I
thought it was Fieldy's son.
It turned out to be Fieldy's son. So Brian is playing and he's pointing to the side of the stage. Then they get finished with the song. He goes over.
I knew Vin was gonna do something. I should have taken out my camera to record it, but I was literally you would
have caught the moment.
I would have caught the moment, but I wanted to see front row, like, what was Vin gonna do? Because he always, first of all, I feel like you have an advantage. 1, because you have a very loud voice. 2, because you're not afraid to, like, put yourself out there. Even if you get rejected, you're okay with that. And 3, because you're black, so your face sticks out more than everybody else. So I'm like, he's gonna do something, Vin's gonna do something. And then I saw him, like, coming out slow, and the other people were, like, wanting him to move forward. And then I heard him yell, and then I saw the whole interaction from my thing, like, him, like, I was like, this is so cool!
Yeah. So then he goes to the security guard and he starts talking, and then the security guard takes his flashlight and starts flashing at me, and I'm like, yo, and the security guard's like, all right, cool. So as this is going on, all the other photographers are like pushing me, like, yo, get out of the way.
Get out of there for the 3rd song.
I was like, yeah, whatever, man. So we go over there, and I said, yo, we're good. We got it. Security guard's gonna come pick me up. Well,
you can't hear anything.
You can't hear anything.
Because your eardrums are already, like, messed up. Plus, you're right at the front. So I hear me. He's like, the security guy's gonna come get us.
Head secure Korn security. He's gonna come get us. He's gonna get us to the side of the stage.
I'm like, how is this gonna work? Like, there's thousands of people here. Like, how is that security guard gonna find us? What's gonna happen? I'm the planner of the thing.
She's the planner.
So I'm like, I'm waiting. I keep looking at Vin. We're looking around. There's no security guard coming, and I'm like, "What did he say exactly?"
So then I tell the lady security with the son, with the Rubik's Cube son. I said, "Yeah, he said we could go on stage and hang out with him." And she's like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Well, where do we go? What do we do?"
Yeah.
So then she's like, "Well, ask that guy."
Huh? Oh, I didn't hear that happen.
Yeah. So then, but then I was like, "Yeah," and then I was kind of stuck. I was like, I don't know what to do. And then what did you say?
Oh, that's so disappointing. I didn't know she had already instructed you. I thought I came up with a plan myself.
No, you did. So what did you?
I said, what did he say exactly? Because if he said, "I'll send someone," that's different than if you only heard the word security. So he was like,
I didn't hear any words.
I wasn't getting any clear direction.
It was all sign language. Head pointed to the security guard, pointed to the side of the stage. Mm-hmm. Then he told the security guard, and then the security guard looked at me. I waved at him. He flashlighted me. That was the communication. There was no verbal anything.
So I'm like, okay, I wasn't getting enough clear answers. So I said, come with me. And so I brought him to the security guy, and I said, I'm like, tell him, because he's like much smoother at like explaining stuff, because I overgive way too many details. So I'm like, tell him what's going on.
Well, we had, the guy, Sori's best friend, I had been asking him throughout the day, what does this VIP thing actually mean? He never told us. He said, all I know is that if your VIP is in red ink, it means that you have some kind of access that other people don't.
Something special, like... So he didn't bother to find out what that something special was. He was too busy trying to figure out if they don't have a second camera, can they both...
So anyway, I go up to this guy and I'm like, look, we have red ink passes, and Brian just told us to go to the stage. He goes, oh, okay, we'll go around that way and go. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know where I was going. So Sori's like, I know where he's talking about. So we go over there, and there's like a little guy standing guard, and I'm like, they're going to mess with us. There's no way we're going to be able to get in. So I'm like, hey, we're with the band. Everybody says that.
That's why there's t-shirts. I'm with the band.
Right, but he goes, red patch, okay, go. Yep. And then we went, there was one more door, and I said, where's the stage?
We showed, then there was another security guy there. We showed the patch again. He's like, yeah, you guys both have one? We were like, yep. He's like, go ahead, go in. So we went in. I was like, so he said we could go on the stage? And he was like, yeah, he was talking about the stage. And so we were like, well, where do we go? And then this guy comes up behind us.
Big tall guy.
He was like, I'll show you. Follow me. I'm like, I can't believe this is happening.
He's like, what side you want to be on?
He's like, you want the right or the left? Vin's like, left side. I'm like, no, it's the right side.
Yeah.
Because you're looking. Yeah. What was happening?
My brain was scrambled. I couldn't believe it. We were.
Yeah.
What? There were a couple band people from other bands. We just walked right by him. I didn't care, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
That's how Korn fans are. I just didn't care. And he goes, okay, and the guy was like completely disinterested. Like he didn't realize how heavy this moment was.
Well, you said, well, we want to be on the side with Brian, or head. And then he was like, yeah.
He had no idea
who it was. So I was like, right hand side of the stage. So we went back there, and we
were by the sound guy for like 2 minutes, right?
Yeah, and we were like trying to figure out like what was supposed to be. You were looking like you were trying to wait for a break to ask him where to go.
Well, yeah, and then I realized this sound guy is completely disinterested. He doesn't care. Here were these two random people just showed up in this crazy access point, and the guy like didn't care at all.
Yeah, so but he was probably like the fact that because we had to get through so much security.
There's so many levels of security that it's
if you're there, you're supposed to be there. So I was like, I'm like looking. I'm like, okay, if he said we were supposed to be on the side of the stage, there's got to be a way there. So I'm like looking. Vin is just standing there like, oh my gosh, just from this like little crack watching, we can watch head like kind of go back and forth. And so I was like, I'm like looking and I'm like, okay, let's go around this way. And so we went around and then we were like, we were there.
Right where, so you
could see all their guitars.
Yeah, I think I took you took a picture.
Yeah, I did. I took a picture of
it. You had Fieldy's son, then you had the big giant security guard guy. So I tapped him, I'm like, yo, like, he's like, oh yeah, you guys, yeah.
I was like, this is madness. We're like on the stage with them.
I'm beside the guitar tech, and Head's right there. He's like right there.
Yes, I'll tell you.
And everybody's right there.
This is completely immature of me. I had to tell myself, do not run out on that stage, because I actually felt like just going out and just be like, and then just, because what are they gonna do? Yep, you've blown it now. You're never gonna have this chance again, but you did it. But you know what? I couldn't do it. I had too much respect for the band. I couldn't be that rude. So I didn't do it, but I did feel like it.
So, like, the guitar tech was there. And so the guitar tech was there, and he was doing field.
Wait! It was crazy because when we were sitting in the, there was like one point where you looked at me and you were like, sorry, look at all these people that are in here, and then you said that there was 6 times as many people as was in there. That's how big our subscriber count is on YouTube.
Yeah.
I was like looking around. Honest to goodness, what I was thinking was, we're loved by so many people.
Yeah.
And like, it was mind blowing because when you see the number of subscribers, it's a number. It's like, it's a number, and you can't like even picture what that number looks like.
And we've literally answered thousands of comments, emails, Instagrams, Twitters,
and don't
Facebook.
be upset like if we haven't responded back to you. We literally have thousands, so it's kind of like
we try to be as interactive as we possibly can.
Yeah.
Because not for any other reason other than the fact we just like people. So we would do it regardless. But we've literally talked to thousands of people in a year, and sometimes you don't really realize the scope. And it's a strange. I think to be a YouTuber is a way of life, and it's kind of corny, but there's no real distinction between. There's not one day that goes by where we don't talk about somebody in our community.
Oh yeah, yep.
And so what happens is, it's like when you're in that situation and you see all those people, your mind immediately goes to your community, and you go, whoa. And then you realize if it wasn't for your people, you would not be there. So that's why I posted in the thing, like we were backstage, and I said, you guys are with us, because for me anyway, it's not we feel very much the fact that if we didn't have the support of our community,
we wouldn't have gotten the opportunities that we've gotten.
You don't have the opportunities that you get.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
a lot of times your opportunities start with your subscriber count. So if you have a lot of subscribers, then it's worth it for them to say, hey, you can get back here and take some pictures and talk about us to your, whatever. So like you guys enable us to be able to do the things that we've done and have the conversations that we've been able to have.
And on top of that, we've had people grind for us. We had the first interview with Ted was coordinated by Dan.
Yeah.
Dan O'Connell from the Village. Shout out to the big homie. So, and this is not
song reviews coming.
This is not to say that other people, haven't done things for us, because they have. But for this particular thing, it's just there's so many. There's literally been hundreds of retweets and Facebook posts and conversations with friends and memes and it hasn't always been positive as far as people looking at it positively.
Yeah.
But even those things, I interpret those things as that's how you know a relationship is real. And as real as you can have a virtual relationship with a group of people, even when people say you guys are dumb and da da da. I'm not talking about like the random troll. I'm talking about people who genuinely say like, yeah, I like this, I don't like this, you're stupid here, da 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 da. Like all of that.
Yeah.
Brought us to that particular point, which was a very important moment for me. So, Jonathan, after the second interlude, has this song called "For You," and it's talking about what he does for all the Korn kids out there, and how important his art is for them, and like,
oh, that's cool.
You don't understand what it's like until you're on this side, and you're like, yeah, like. When you're tired and you don't want to shoot a review, but then you read an email and a person says, man, thank you guys got me through the day, long form chats, a lot of people, a lot of hurt people out there who are misunderstood, who people don't give a chance to. So that whole moment, I was on stage, and watching Jonathan do that song, and that song is almost 20 years old since the Issues days. And he's still emotional about it, and like in that moment I'm like, okay, I get it, because I'm standing here and I've got 124,000 people that like literally pushed me onto that stage to have that experience with one of the most important people in my life, with you, share this experience with somebody that I love, and then Brian, who's one of the most influential people in my life. So it was just a weird, and it's hard to like articulate. Like you carry these people with you all day.
Oh yeah.
And you think about them all day, and you're and
whenever we meet somebody like in the crowd that like recognizes us and stuff, it's a strange thing, because you feel like the face is not familiar to you, but the vibe is.
Yes. Yes.
Like you're one of us, like you're part of our family, like, oh, we found each other in this massive crowd of 18,000 people, like, we know, like, it's like we have this like there's like this connection like because we saw some people that were like farther away from us and we were like, oh my word, you know what I mean?
Shane Razuski. Hey, I saw you guys there. I was in the front row on the right side, and I looked over and saw you guys were on the side stage. I'm like, oh my god, it's Vin and Sori.
Yeah.
You know? So Shane was a shout out to the big homie.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you're watching this, but hey, if you are, what's up, buddy?
It's just cool, like because you feel like we've shared so much stuff on our channel that's like. Yeah. Probably if I like had like the awareness to realize how many people I'm saying my shit to, I probably wouldn't say so much. I don't know. But like we've been so real on our channel that like when people see us, like it's not just like this surfacey connection, like we've shared deep stuff.
Yeah.
So when we meet somebody that's like, oh, you know, like they're wearing a Sori shirt or they're like, they recognize us and they say something to us, like there's just like this connection because it's like, hey, like we've been through stuff together, like you know, so it's cool, like you guys have been on the journey with us, and so like you said, it was like you guys were there with us when we were on that stage and stuff.
So then Brian comes off after one of the songs. He's like, "Hey, you guys good?" Yeah.
I was trying to get some Wi-Fi so I could do a live stream for you guys, but it wasn't happening.
Yeah, he's like, "You guys all right? Everything good?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, we're good." And so he goes to the guitar tech and he goes, "Are they standing too close? Like, do they need to stand back?" The guitar tech, "Nah, man, they're good. Let them stay right there." And that blew me away.
Which element of that blew you away?
Well, the fact that the guitar, there are a couple things. One was. Head was trying to make sure that we were good.
Yes, that was like, I'm like, you're in the middle of a giant show and you are concerned about us, like us two little YouTubers.
Yeah, and that's just the guy's personality.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it in a second. But then the guitar tech though was really impressive to me because it's like, Head has a relationship somewhat with us. He knew it, and he talked about it. We've been talking to him for hours and hours and hours. Whereas this guitar guy doesn't know who we are from Adam, and he's doing a job. He's changing batteries and making sure tuning is right. Because Korn stuff it's simple, but it's complex at the same time as far as pedals, because they do a lot of pedal work, and there's a lot of things that have to be coordinated properly. And he's like, no, and we were like, I was like on him. And he was like, no, like that. Let them stay there. They're good. Yeah. And so, like, shout out to that guy. Yeah. But, yeah. And so, like, Brian, Head was coming to change or something. Like he had this bowl of Skittles. Yeah. He had these bowl of Skittles. Yeah. He'd come in after every song and eat his Skittles. And he'd say, oh, yo, you're good? I'm like, bro. How are you still rocking like that? After all these years, after 25 years, my neck is...
I was literally thinking the same thing. I'm like, how does he do that with his neck,
was rocking.
His head was just going.
He said, oh, it's the Lord. And then he went back on stage and just crushed it. If you're a Christian and you run into another Christian, it's a very, very, very hard thing to explain. But it's the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
It really, really is.
Okay,
it's hard to explain.
Like it's kind of like this, but it's not even close. Like when you're away from home and then you find somebody that like is from the same town as you and you're like, oh my gosh, me too, and there's like this connection that you have. Like it's like that, but like put that on like a billion because it's deeper than that.
He would point up every once in a while and it's like
because the other thing is a physical location thing. Like you were physically located in the same place. This is you're spiritually located in the same place. So it's the spirit is obviously deeper than the physical. So
yeah. And like he would rock as hard as he could, give it to the crowd as much as he could, then he'd point up and then he'd go do it again, and it's like I don't understand how I could do that after 25 years playing the same songs over and over and over again. Like it blew me away. He's like, it's the Lord, and it was just like, well, obviously, Vin, it's the Lord. And then he goes back out there and he goes and crushes it.
I have another weird thing to say too is that like. Okay, so I don't have the same connection that you do, obviously, with these bands. But, like, every time that I've seen them, it's always been, like, on a YouTube video or something. So they're, like, this big. And so, like, when I was seeing them, like, there, like, life-sized, it was, like, the weirdest feeling. I was like, oh, my gosh, they're not, like, little...
So, like, and I would go out and look at the crowd and all that, and I was seeing people singing and stuff. It was just, like, I was just, like... I couldn't believe it was happening. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it.
It was a crazy... He was so happy.
I was so happy.
I just... Oh, my word. Like, I don't know, like... Vin's been through like a lot of stuff, and stuff that like I can't relate to because my life has been so different than his. And so like you've been through a lot of pain, a lot of whatever, and like when you have moments of just genuine joy, like it's like one of the best feelings. And so I didn't actually see like much of the show because I was watching Vin like so happy and like watching him enjoy it. So like I would look at the stage and then I would like watch Vin and I was like, this is so great, like because you were just having the time of your life up there, like you were rocking out. I mean, there's videos here, you know, you were singing with them. It was just, it was a cool thing, like seeing that and knowing, I mean, you've talked about Korn so much and the influence that, you know, Brian had on you and stuff like that. And obviously like I had, for me, it was like, wow, like this is a really cool moment, but it was also like, I have respect in my heart for Jonathan because of the Daddy song. Like that was a moment. Like you can go back and watch that review. Like that was the craziest review that I have done. Like that one impacted me. It sat with me for like a long time. And I still will go into the comment section on that one randomly and just like respond to people because people have been through such heartbreaking things. Like, you know, it's very, very meaningful. So seeing Jonathan up there and knowing that he's been through like a lot of difficult stuff also, like, you know, this last year was very hard for him, like, and just seeing him like, you know, just rocking out and like, I don't know, I think that there's like levels of healing that can happen, like, you know, when you're doing like what you love. So I was just hoping that he still loves what he does and that it was good and healthy for him being out there and stuff. So, but it was a crazy, the lights, and then there was like that explosion, and all those lines came out.
Falling away from me. That was the last song. So
I was like, oh my gosh!
Yeah. And so the show was over, just like that. It just flew by, and I was just on cloud. I was on cloud, and you know, it was just having Sori there. Like I've had a lot of, you know, loss in my life and, you know, losing people and things like that. And you know, it was just crazy because the day started out rough for us and everything. And like, she stuck by me and, you know, so that's like really, you know, like, you know, you find somebody that's willing to stick by you and all that, that's important, you know? So like, just to have her there and being like, man, she's not going to leave, you know, like, to have that trust in a human being, like as much as another human being can trust another human being, I trust her. And so it's like, man, she's right there, she's behind me, and you know, she, you know, and it was just like, it just, I would not have been, it just wouldn't have been that special of a moment if she wasn't there. And like, there's not a lot of times when people are, or in my perception, when people are just genuinely happy for me without anything of me having to give anything. Mm-hmm. And I could just tell she was just purely happy for me and all that. And so, it was a pretty emotional moment being up there. The song was over. And I'm like, all right, cool, man. Like, we had a once-in-a-lifetime situation. And
it was, well, wait, I wanted to say about that piece. Like, it was, like you said, like, it was tough because we fought on the drive there, and, like, I was like, why are you being such a jerk, you know? And, like, we got in there, and, like, it's cool because, like, well, we do, you know, we have fights, people get in fights, but then, like, at the end of the day, we love each other and we want to have fun together and stuff. And like, so we just like kind of put that aside and we kind of like move forward. And then by the end, like everything was cool. And like you said, when we were up on the stage, like both of us were just so happy, like to be there with each other. Yeah. And it was like, I don't know, it was cool. Like, again, music does stuff, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't know, it just the whole thing, like I would agree with you with that. It was really cool, and being there with each other. And you were saying, like, you looked at me and you said, like, you were super excited to be there because of them, but like being there with me was like the highlight for you. And
100%.
you know, I felt that too. Like, it was
100%. Like, it's,
but obviously you saying it is way more crazy because like that band is like wildly important to you. So
yeah, and so the show was over. It was great, and you know, Brian showed up. He's like, yeah, come through. And he's like, just follow me, man.
Before he said that, I was like, what what do we do? Like, are they like, because there's been like times in my life where like people like hung around me too long. And I wanted people to just, okay, like there would be times where I would have like loads of people at my house and I'd be like, okay, you guys gotta go now. Like you gotta go. Like it's friggin' 3 a.m. Like you remember me saying at some points, like, you gotta go. And for me to like say that, it's like, okay, it's very far now. You really have to. So like, I'm thinking he just did this show. Like he's probably tired. He's been on the road, blah, blah.
He's
like,
been rocking for an hour and a half straight.
Yes. And he
took no breaks on any song.
Wildly generous to like bring us up onto the stage like that and let us be there to experience it. And like, he said a few things to us in between the songs.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like, it was like, I just felt like he was just over the top in what he had done at that. And so I was like, I didn't know, like, what is, like the etiquette in a situation like this? Like, do you, like, say, hey, thanks, and, like, exit? Or do you wait? Like, or what are you supposed to do? So I looked at Vin, I was like, I don't know what to do in a situation like that. Like, are we supposed to get the hell out of Dodge? Or what are we supposed to do?
So stay tuned for part 2, because we're going to tell you what happened after that. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for this long. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.